2024 is the year of the testimony, and excuse me, I felt like I wanted to take this slot today and just kind of share a little bit about kind of our journey and our story and just brag on Jesus for a minute. I was reading in the book of Acts a few months ago, and like twice through Paul's journeys, as he got to different cities and different churches, he would gather the church together, and it says that he would just begin to brag on Jesus and tell them what God was doing in his life and through his ministry. And that's really what we want to do. We want to brag on Jesus and elevate him because, man, he is the one. Christ be magnified in my life, and I pray that that's your prayer too. As many of you know, me and my family, we were called to adoption ministry 5 or 6 years ago, 7 years ago. We adopted 2 girls, amazing journey, a ton of fun. And here recently, a couple of years ago, God called us to do it again. And so for the entire month of June, we were in Colombia finalizing an adoption for 3 girls. And man, it was an incredible journey. And God taught me a lot while I was in Bogota. And I want to share 2 things, but before I do, I just want to say a huge, heartfelt thank you to the body here, the family of SouthCrest Church. You guys were amazing. All through our time in country, we felt your prayers and your thoughts. So many people were texting us and checking in on us, financially supporting us. Even when we've gotten back now, I mean, the love and the support is still flowing in. And so thank you guys. Thank you so much for loving our family so well and partnering with us in this gospel mission and what God has called us specifically to. So thank you guys. Heartfelt. Thank you. So 2 things I wanted to share, and then we're going to pray together. 2 things that God taught me while I was in Colombia. Number 1, this second adoption was hands down the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. Hardest thing I've ever done in my life. And I think God exposed something in my own heart. I like order. I like to know the plan. I like to have a plan. And I think there's a little bit of like, I want to be in control. A bit, I'm not like I got to rule the world kind of control. Like, got to be the president, got to tell people what to do. But I like to kind of know what's happening in my life. And man, I quickly found out that I wasn't in control in Bogota. And that was difficult. Literally every single turn, it was evident to me that I was not in control. And I was put into a position where I had to believe and to trust God. And the amazing thing is, and as you know, I'm sure you've experienced it, he was faithful at every single turn, right? All the roadblocks, all the piece of papers that weren't filed right with the right name, and the holidays and the problems and the psychologists and the government and the issue. I could list a ton of things that went wrong, but literally at every turn, God was like, hey, I'm here with you. I got you. You can trust me. I'm calling you to this, and I'm with you. And that was amazing. And so I think it's in those types of moments where you really do get to experience the faithfulness of God. It's when you're out of your comfort zone and you have to trust him, that he's like, hey, I'm God, right? And so if he calls you to it, he's going to equip you for it. And if he sends you, he's going to go with you. So you have nothing to worry about. The second thing, briefly, is I was using this language before I left. I'm going on a rescue mission, right? I'm going on a rescue mission. But I had to check myself with that kind of language that I was saying. I'm going on a rescue mission because, man, pretty quickly we can make our own selves the hero of the story. And last I checked, Matt McFadden is nobody special. Matt McFadden is a normal guy. And yes, I went on a rescue mission, but there is only one hero of the story, and there truly is one rescuer, and his name is Jesus. And he rescued me. And then he recruited me to go and spread the good news so he could rescue some more people. Shame on me or shame on us if we think we're some hero to the story. Great. So we got a house in Summer Grove. If that's the end of the line for people or these daughters, man, that's no good. Jesus is it. He's the hero of the story. The mission of Jesus has always been people. And his method of reaching people is people. It's you. And so here's my challenge to you. I want to read this passage of Scripture. This is what God gave me whenever, 2 years ago I read this here. I think a year ago I read it. And this is the passage of Scripture that God confirmed in my heart, in my wife's heart, in our family, that we were called to go. Psalm 67, it says, "May God be gracious to us and bless us and make his face shine upon us," right? God pours out his grace on you and me, and he blesses me and he blesses you, and he gives you his favor. And it goes on to say that your way may be known on the earth and your saving power among the nations. God has blessed you for a reason. Everything you have, everything you own is for a reason. And here's my challenge to you. Are you leveraging what you have for God's kingdom? Is your yes on the table? Your yes might be way different than mine, and that's totally okay. Your yes might be going across the street and witnessing to your neighbor, inviting them to church, or being a light at your workplace, right? And so are you leveraging everything that you have for the kingdom, and is your yes on the table? Man, there's nobody ever that has ever regretted saying yes to Jesus or saying yes to obeying him. And so let's go into a time of prayer briefly.